Alright, finally made it to the climax dungeon of choice. Heading out towards the Sunken Queen, which Queen Elysia decided to dig up with the help of boggarts. A lot of boggarts. Like a lot of boggarts. And she didn't even dig it all up. Just enough so she could get her way in. Placing in a hole in the wall so that she can travel inside. Chasing her down to it, we head in ourselves. And it was a long trip that we just walk into. Of course, like many things, it has its anti-teleportation setup, which is fun. Even more so when you walk in and you see how big and empty it is. As we entered into it, boop, actually fairly sunken down. You get to about I think waist knee deep in water, which is oh so lovely to see come out. And we find out the first thing that's in here is the lair of a Barrowwash. This little shit is probably one of the more obnoxious, one of the circumstantial creatures. Because this man comes out, flying out, grabbing our friends. And of course, since we got our new lovely mage to go and trial out, she dominates monster on him. And so he fails to, so she gets to control him. Well, kind of. It's a back and forth control method because it's with another domination effect, so push comes to shove. We get out of range so the barbarian can make his dues, swinging and slashing and crushing. While the war priest attempts to help out, getting grappled repeatedly. And we have lots of everyone's favorite joke. Oh, it's a tentacle joke, you can't do that. Needless to say, we could have simply harmlessly gotten away with this by casting a Dispel Magic. It would have solved the whole problem in one go. But seeing as we have a queen to slay, you don't think that far ahead. Taking it down with very much ease, we search it out, find its treasure lair, and surprisingly has very little to nothing in it. It's almost embarrassing. Heading down, we reach the second floor, and we find that this one is a little more well upkept. But it's also got the infestation of lots and lots and lots of boggarts. A nice opening workout to bullying pretty much all of them. They raging, stabbing, flying, beatings. A lot of violence for this part. Beating most of them down. The biggest ones being a nuisance for the powerful barbarian relations ones. Let me tell you, they were durable to no end. Not super amazing, but durable. Now, we search around, find that it's just mostly food storage and random junk. So we move into the next floor. The third floor, which happened to have an elevator down to it, which I don't know why people have these elevators everywhere, but these old places and elevators make me question its logic. As we step out of the elevator, the first thing that pops out is the Ethereum, which boop, 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 didn't even get 2 seconds of combat as the barbarian walks up and beheads him. Like almost immediately. To the point where even her newest guards, the Furies, didn't even have time to show up into combat. They arrive late, confused as to what happened, and then realize that we're here. And they take our chances to come in to fight, which turned us into a 2-part fight. Which ended fairly swiftly and promptly, as the lovely Irenaeus weren't exactly a threatening point of this. The major contender was literally the Ethereal, which got a spell off and then promptly beheaded to no end. Boop. And heading in, we take the final elevator down to the bottom floor, into the final chambers, where we step in, and we see the biggest mass of blood there is. Like, this thing is 40 feet wide of just blood. Inside, and by the logic of what the book says, we somehow see it. Oh, wait, there was an important feature on the third floor. Because this was when we searched around and found the largest gym we've probably ever seen in a long time. Of course, we stupidly didn't think very hard about it and stepped in, sending the barbarian to retrieve it, because as is always greed going into it, he finds out it's a shiny new rock. Upon touching the rock, he once again falls victim to a soul trap spell, and an immortal Ichor comes out in response, grabbing it and fleeing us. Now, knowing our hardest hitter has gone down and on us is not helpful. So, from here we have to head down to the fourth floor, arriving fairly quickly as we step in. And, as the battle starts, the queen pulls herself out of the blood pool, probably pretty menacingly, to be fair with you. That's like the most threatening thing we've ever seen. And stands before us. Her and her blood servant Tanir, and a collection of her clones, which, she would have been done quicker if she wasn't making clones all the damn time. But I'm not the one to take charge of that problem. Now, on top of all of that, seeing her queen clones and her Tanir that serves her, we also notate that in the back, we see the barbarian. More specifically, we see the barbarian bowing and praising the queen. Which, if we've seen enough of the barbarian, he's a manly man who doesn't want to do that. He's simping to no end on this part. Needless to say, the first round of combat goes off, and immediately we punish all of the lovely queen clones with one chain lightning, striking almost all of them down in one go. And lo and behold, the immortal Ichor arrives shortly thereafter, handing the gem to the queen as she taunts us with their new item. We have had some fate cards that have been drawn for us, one of them allowing a switch between enemy to ally. Upon using our fate switch, the barbarian changes his demeanor, striking at the queen and fighting her out in battle. As to keep ourselves safe, I draw out a wall of force to hide us behind, just so combat goes a little smoother on our part. A few rounds in, and the paladin joins, drawing forth the artifact blade, striking her down and putting her into her own misery. As we finish her up, the pool of blood bursts and boils and outputs as the ritual that was completed and we were not paying attention to. Regrettably, I could have fixed the problem earlier, but out bursts from it the Lord himself, Lord Khazavon, the dragon arrivals. Now, unfortunately, with all this going about, it's not exactly the hardest fight in the world. Mostly just getting out of reach of him, because the arena isn't exactly all that accommodating for a creature quite this big. Considering he takes up most of that space just in his size alone. But hiding away from him and making sure the fear of the problem doesn't have to deal with me, in surprisingly a few short rounds, needless to say, crits do some big wonders at the end of the book. We strike down Khazavon himself, and the dragon falls to his own, and ensured to sealed once more. Now, as the dragon has been slain and gone to, we head back to town, where the Gretus claims his newfound power of becoming king, and as the canon states for that Gretus's world, he takes up that position of his own desires. Now, the queen could have been a little more endangered, but she was for some reason written in as a bard, so yeah, she kind of got the short end of the stick. The dragon was a bit iffy, but considering he's what, like CR 25? Oh, jeez. Surprisingly, we didn't have to deal with his human form, which he probably would have gotten beaten even quicker at that rate. But all in all, after all of that, we finally slay the queen and claim the Gretus's own self-assured rights to being king. And next time, I'll probably do a video on statistical averages of what the party was looking like all the way through the campaign. Hopefully look in and out. I don't know. Not like I get anything to worry about. But all in all, I will see you the next time with whatever I feel like doing that time. Bye bye!